Hi, I'm Eric Salazar. I'm a musician from Indianapolis, Indiana, and welcome to my video blog, Music Speaks. Music Speaks is basically just having a conversation about the artist world and the musician world, and we are going to talk about all sorts of things, like this cat, whose name is Rabbit. Yeah, so I've got a couple cats, sorry. But we're going to talk about some problems and issues that artists are facing, and we're also going to talk about some really awesome things that are going on in our world today that you might not have known about in the art world. So for this pilot episode, I wanted to talk about something that was powerful, but not too offensive. So, for that reason, I've decided to talk about something I call Rockstar Syndrome. So you're probably just like, yeah, Rockstar Syndrome, whoa! But it's actually, not a good thing. It's not good at all. And so what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about what Rockstar Syndrome is, whether or not you have it, and what you can do to cure yourself of this terrible syndrome. So, what is Rockstar Syndrome? Well, Rockstar Syndrome is the misconception that unless an artist is making millions of dollars at their craft, then they're just no good. It's a prejudice against artists who are not backed by a multi-million-dollar corporation. So, do you have Rockstar Syndrome? Let's find out. Alright, so let's take a couple examples, and the way you answer these questions might help you figure out if you've got Rockstar Syndrome or not. Let's say you're at a bar, and there's a singer-songwriter singing cover songs. And every once in a while, they throw in their own song that they wrote as well. If in your mind, you go, wow, these are some great covers. I guess this person hasn't quite made it yet, though, because they're still singing covers in bars. If that is your mindset as you're listening to them, you might have Rockstar Syndrome. There's a very strong possibility that they're actually making a living performing music in bars. And if they're making a living performing music, doesn't that make them a professional musician? Alright, so how about this? Let's take something else now. Let's say there's a hip-hop artist, and they find you on the street. They just walk up to you, and they go, hey, I just dropped this album, and I'm selling it for $5. Here it is, right here. And you go, whoa, $5. I've got $5. What label are you with? And then they say, oh, I independently recorded it, and I'm independently releasing it. If in your mind you go, oh, so it's not with a real label, this probably isn't going to be a quality product. If that's your mindset, then you probably have Rockstar Syndrome. There's a strong possibility that they've got professional recording equipment, and they know how to use it. There's a strong possibility that they're planning to digitally distribute their music and collect the royalties that way. And if they're doing that, doesn't that make them a professional? You cannot dictate quality based off of if a multi-million-dollar corporation is backing them or not. You can only dictate quality by listening. Alright, so we've thought about it a little bit, and we've come to the conclusion that if you're someone who thinks that a local artist is just an artist who hasn't made it yet, or an artist who doesn't have the backing of a multi-million-dollar company, doesn't produce quality art, then you have Rockstar Syndrome. It's the idea that only the biggest, most supreme superstars are any good at creating art, and it's just wrong. There are plenty of artists who are creating quality art. Now, before I go any further, let me just say that I'm not knocking any of the superstars' abilities or work ethic. They're there for a reason, and I presume they've worked extremely harder than I can imagine to get there. I'm not saying tear down your Kanye poster and throw away your Adele albums. They're still quality artists. What I am saying is that when an artist or a musician approaches you and comes at you as a local artist, asking for your patronage, do not immediately dismiss them as a bum who doesn't have a real job. That's not what it is. You don't know what quality work they produce until you try it. It would be like saying that a local restaurant automatically doesn't produce quality food just because they aren't a big, super, mega corporation. I don't know about you, but McDonald's is awesome, but there are some local restaurants in Indianapolis that I would much rather eat at. So, what can you do to cure yourself of this affliction? I will tell you. You can start by jettisoning any prejudices you have against local art. Are you the very best at your job? If you're a car salesman, are you the very best car salesman in the entire country? Maybe you are. Maybe you're like the rest of us and you're average. But you still have to earn a living, don't you? So you sell a normal amount of cars and you earn a living. So step one is getting rid of this idea that someone has to be the very best to receive your patronage as an artist. The next thing you can do, it's so incredibly simple, and as a musician, I will tell you, it means the world to the artist. Just give them a compliment. Tell them what you liked about their work. You know, it's nice to say, wow, you're amazing, I loved it. But a truly heartfelt compliment, like, let's say you're viewing a local art gallery, even just saying, like, I love the array of colors you've used in this piece. That means so much to the artist. So giving a compliment is just like, it would mean the world to them, I promise you. And that would be, you know, emotional support that they would not otherwise get, so you are still supporting them. And then the third is, of course, to, I'm not going to say, you need to be a patron of local art. That's for you to decide if you like that art. But I will say, consider the idea of being a patron for a local artist. Consider the idea of funding their Kickstarter campaign. You never know where they're going to go. And the other part about the local artists and the artists who aren't with a big corporation is that they are really influenced by their patrons. It's such a close relationship. You can directly influence their art. So the three things you can do right now are, one, considering local artists as artists, not as bums who don't have a job. The other thing you can do is to support them, whether it's giving them a compliment in person or even on social media. Just taking like the 20 seconds it takes to type on Facebook, hey, I really like this piece. I like the way you mix the sounds together. And three, of course, is to legitimately consider the idea of being a patron of their art and supporting them in a small way financially. Alright, so that was all about Rockstar Syndrome. I'm Eric Salazar, musician from Indianapolis. Thank you for watching the first ever episode of Music Speaks. Let me know in the comments below what you thought about what I had to say, and let me know what you want to hear about next. Thank you, bye!